how have I been DJing for 23 years and I didn't know that?
Welcome back to another episode of Get Off the Mic, coming to you live from Co-Create Studios by The Cast. I am your host, DJ Lexi, and we are here with Rhiannon Roze, and I'm very excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so guys, just to fill you in a little bit about Rhiannon, she is a DJ and producer who raps her own vocals live, which I think is so awesome, over her DJ sets. On the deck since 2001, she played vinyl throughout the underground scene, which led her to the recognition she has today, touring internationally, changing the game for female DJs. Woo woo! She is open for Tiesto, Deadmau5, Steve Aoki, Chris Lake. She produces her own tracks, which have been played by major DJs like Calvin Harris. She has racked up millions of streams, guys. She's killing the game. So excited to have a female DJ on.
Yay!
So exciting. So let's just dive in from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where you're from, growing up, how you got into it, all that fun stuff.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I'm actually from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, like Vancouver, kind of like the suburbs.
It's beautiful there, huh?
Yeah.
My parents were just there a few days ago. I'm so jealous. That is on the bucket list.
Yes. Go
Vancouver.
in the summer. You'll fall in love in the summer. In the winter, you'll be like, I'm sick of this rain.
Oh, I'm used to it. I'm an East Coaster, so
Fair.
our weather is horrible.
Nice.
So Vancouver.
Yeah.
Are you a Drake fan, Canada?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Why not? I'm not getting involved with the beef. I'm Switzerland. But yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and it's so funny. I grew up in Canada, but I actually spent all my summers in England because that's where all my family was.
No way.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of the musical influences came from. Because it was that European dance music kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What's the scene like in Canada, the EDM scene? I feel like it's popping now, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel and even when I just started, I feel like it was there, but it's just grown a lot. I think I went to my first rave when I was 15 years old or something.
Oh, she started early.
Yeah. I had an older sister who was DJing and she took me.
Oh, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So your sister was a DJ too?
She was actually, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
In the family.
So how did were your parents musical or anything like that? Or she just kind of found a niche and then you followed?
I guess, yeah. I feel like we're all fans. We're all big music fans. I definitely grew up listening to music. I don't know that my parents played any instruments, but definitely my family. My uncle was a great pianist. And there's an opera singer somewhere.
Right. So it's in your blood.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
You started your career basically then in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just started collecting vinyl records and eventually saved up, got some turntables.
And so you started young,
yeah, very.
Just collecting vinyl. What equipment did you start on?
I honestly, the turntables that I bought, I still have.
No way.
Yes,
you
I
can
just
never get rid of your first.
I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to. The Technics 1200s, they're the shit. I just had to. Service them every few years or something. But
That's
yeah, I still got them.
No, same. I'm never getting rid of my first little it's too. It means too much.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ever get rid of that. That's a keepsake forever.
Yeah.
So I feel since you learned on vinyl, that brings you to the next level completely and puts you ahead of all other DJs who maybe rely a little too much on the sync button.
It's a trip. I actually trip out on the sync button. I don't even know how to. I'm how does that even? How do people trust that thing?
I do not trust it. It can work, but I would not trust it.
Yeah. No.
What?
Yeah, I think I came on after a DJ once, and I think it was just on, but And I tried to change BPM, and then the CDJ was tripping, and I'm what is happening? And I'm I'm way too old school for this. I'm just play. Just when I press play, just play. Me not.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I hate it. I was playing and another DJ got on, and they were doing like a little set in between. I was on, and then I took a break. They came on, and then I was going back on, and it was just not it. I was like saying a prayer because I didn't have this thing button on, and I'm like sitting there saying a prayer that like she turns it on. I was like, okay, this is one case scenario where like the sync button is needed because this is not good.
That's fair. That's fair.
So guys, I encourage you to use it if you really need it, but please try to learn.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to hide like your face when like as like a seasoned DJ and like you hear like music going off and just the world stops and you're like, and like I don't feel any shade. I'm just like, come on, girl. Or come on, dude. Like you got this. Like you know, I'm almost like doing the thing.
Like and it'll be fine. But like we're so close, dude. It's painful. Like listening, and I feel like I have this conversation with so many DJs. Like how, like it just changes going out for your own enjoyment because you can't enjoy it the way that like, because you're so focused on like. Sometimes I'm like, Lexi, you just have fun, ignore the music. You don't need to analyze every transition. But it's like hard.
You're like trying to have fun. You're like, oh, they went there. Okay, I wouldn't have done that, but okay. Oh, this edit?
Right. And then even if I'm like loving it, I'm like, oh, I gotta find this track ID. Like, it's like, Lexi, just chill, okay? Have a drink. Just sit back and relax. Like, this does not need to be necessary.
Seriously, when you do music production, there's like the added
another
layer.
Element to it.
You're like, oh, like I know what that is.
Yep. So I watched your documentary.
Oh, cool.
Rock the Box. Everybody needs to watch it. I loved it. It was so interesting and so cool. And like to hear you, like I was not expecting that. Like so she did Playboy and I had no idea. I was not expecting that. And I watched it. I'm like, shut up. What a hottie. I was like loving it. So tell us kind of about that. I like how you mentioned, which kind of goes into what we were just talking about. You saw these DJs, female DJs.
Yeah.
They were being marketed as Playboy models, but they were DJing. And you were like, whoa, I'm way better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that sounds rude, but that was the fucking truth. I was just like, wait. I have been working at this DJ thing for a long time. I take it really seriously. I'm really good. And then I was like, it was kind of like learning about this whole idea of marketing, really. So it's like, again, like no shade. It's like what they're doing is working. Like if you saw $100 bill on the ground, would you pick it up? Yeah, you fucking would. Like, I don't know. Like that was my attitude. I was just like, okay, I've been doing this DJ thing. I'm not quite like getting the gigs I want to get and that I feel like I deserve. Like I had the confidence. I'm like, I can do this. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do it. Like, fuck it.
So how did you even know where to go to get a Playboy? Like,
yeah. Well, so
I'm going to be on Playboy. I'd be like, where do I start?
That's fair. That's fair. I went through these girls, their manager, because like they had the connect, right? And so I was just like, all right. And like, that was the thing. It was my way of leveling up. Like nowadays it's different. And now I'm like, okay, I'm all into music production. And I'm like, that's my way of leveling up. But I'm sorry, but back then it was like this. It was like being a female DJ was still totally a novelty. Right. It was a thing. And I was like, I want to play more gigs. I'm obsessed with DJing. Like I will do whatever the fuck it takes to get more gigs and DJ more. So I did whatever the fuck it took. Like, you know what I mean?
Shit. That is so badass. I'm like, and then people, I hope that the girls probably learned a lot from you that you were playing shows with.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, they were good too. They just, you know, maybe they had like not as much experience
maybe
as
not
me, but whatever.
You were in it for years at that point. Like, so when you did Playboy, how long after was that since you first had started DJing?
I guess I started DJing in 2001, and I posed for Playboy in like 2008. It came out in 2009.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
So what was shooting for Playboy like?
You know, it was such a trip. It was a photo shoot. It was very professional. It was fun. It was maybe 2 hours of my life, and it fucking changed everything.
Wow.
It was so interesting.
2 hours of your life.
Yeah.
And like...
Yeah. It's a trip, man. Like, it's just, I was like, whoa, this is branding and marketing.
And 2009, like Playboy was a big deal.
Right? Yeah.
Like Playboy's always gonna be a big deal, but like that was prime.
Right. Yeah.
So like, how would people react to that? Especially like friends and family.
Oh God, yeah.
How did they react to like you posing for Playboy?
That part was a trip too. Like in a way, I felt like I was in my own like social experiment because I was like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, fuck it, let's just go for it. Let's see what happens.
It's just my life, no big deal.
Yeah, totally. Because the reactions were so mixed. Like some people were so on board and are like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like I want a magazine, sign it, blah blah blah. And then of course other people were like, oh my God, like blah blah. You know, like that whole like the virgin whore dichotomy. But that's what was so perfect about me doing it is because I had this reputation as being like the golden girl, and like I got straight A's, I played soccer and the whole thing, and then it was like bam, Playboy. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, is she the virgin at the whore? And it's like I'm neither. And like, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. I was like, yes, fuck this dichotomy. Like we don't have to fit into one of those categories, you know?
Literally. That's crazy. So were your parents upset with you, or were they like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did you break? Did you even tell them you were gonna do it?
No. Oh God, no. No, did not come up at the dinner table.
With your parents?
Yes, and no. My dad. I think my dad took it pretty hard because it was like daddy's golden child. Suddenly posed for Playboy. It was kind of a thing. But I'm also like, wait, like, aren't you like an atheist? Like, isn't this idea of being like offended by like women being naked like kind of Christian morality complex? Like what? This is kind of hypocritical. Like,
right. Yeah, call him out on his own shit, daddy. No, wow. Yeah, no, I can't imagine. Like, so you didn't tell them and then they just see it?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just kind of doing my thing. I was just like, I'm going for it. And in a way, like the way I get that determination from my parents though, like particularly my dad, like he was like a go-getter. He was like, all right, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I'm like, well, I did the same thing. I just happened to be a woman going into entertainment. So I fucking posted for Playboy.
Exactly. Do you think that it made your DJing, like, did people undermine your talent because you were a DJ first, and now people are seeing you as a Playboy model?
Yeah.
So do you think it like undermined your skill set, or do you think it
was interesting? Like, again, like the social experiment continues. It was like, all right, now we've done the Playboy, now we're DJing. But here's the thing, like I found the Playboy thing is what got me in the door. And that's all I wanted. I was just get me in the fucking door. Like, just like put me on the lineup, get me in the club, and then I fucking crush it.
And then it's like, yeah.
Yes. And even if people underestimate it, that's almost even more fun. Like people be like, oh, aren't you offended by people being like, oh, you're just whatever? And I'm like, no, it's fucking hilarious because I get to walk in there and be like, do in my high heels, and and then I fucking crush the dance floor, and they're like, oh.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, she's actually good. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And like if I'd played it safe, I never would have had that opportunity to really like just keep carving out that path for female DJs. It's like,
I agree. Like, especially at that time, there was no female DJs.
I think they were there, but they weren't getting the spotlight. And then when I saw these girls getting a spotlight, I was like, fuck, like, okay, if they're getting these opportunities, I want to get them too. And I want to crush them and be like, female DJs can fucking play.
Mm-hmm. And it's like whatever it takes. I know how that is. Like when you want something so bad, you will do whatever it takes.
Straight up.
It's like passion sometimes makes you do crazy things.
Hell yeah. And your 20s.
I'm off. So was that like a whole tour then with the Playboy DJs?
Yes and no, like it just, I don't know, it just got us in more doors and venues and things. And again, it was like the novelty thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so sick. I love that. The statistics at the beginning of that documentary, I wish I would have written them down. But yeah, the statistics I think are improving now with females. Like, but still definitely minority in the DJ. I don't know. Is that the right word?
No, yeah, I feel you. There's like a discrepancy between.
Sure. Yeah, no, that was interesting. Everyone needs to watch that for real. That was like the best 10 minutes. What advice would you give female DJs wanting to like enter the scene?
Now,
would you be like, post for Playboy, start an OnlyFans and DJ on it?
No, the thing, like, it's just everything's changed so much. Like,
right, it's not the same.
Yeah, like now I'd say like do whatever you can to support yourself financially. Like, kind of like lock in the financial piece of it so that you're not like sweating rent and like all these things. Like, try to find that balance. Like, take care of yourself. Like, it's more like health. It's just really just like getting the most like energy and time you can out of your day. And 100% these days, it's like going to music production. Like, learn how to produce music. Like, yes, it takes a while.
For sure.
But that's, if it was 15 years ago, yeah, I'd be like,
fuck yeah.
let's go to the photo.
Fucking yeah. And it was so respected and like, dude, and your photos were amazing. Like, drop dead gorgeous. But I feel like that's like a good thing to hear for any female who's in a male dominant industry. Like, like what advice did you give them to like have more confidence? Because you went in there with confidence, like women working in other careers that maybe feel like, oh, I can't shine because I'm the only girl. Like,
oh, hell no, rock that shit.
Milk it.
Yes.
Milk it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because like, as much as like we can give advice, it takes a long time to just get to know yourself. It just does. I mean, I'm lucky that I had like this delusional self-belief and was just willing to do anything to go for it. Like, you kind of have to like be a little crazy.
Yeah, I love that you put your mind to like, and you knew exactly what it was and you did it.
Yeah.
Like, no problem. So tell us about playing. You've played EDC. You've played Coachella.
Yeah.
What was those experiences like?
Oh, it's such an honor, honestly, like so rad. And it's funny because like, I mean, I don't mind being transparent about it. Like, I could be like, yeah, it was fucking amazing. And it was, and like the truth is like when you're kind of like a more minor artist and you're playing these big things, like sometimes it can be hilarious. Like the kind of stuff, like, I don't know, like I was playing this little stage and you could hear so much background noise from like all the other stages because you're just at a small one. And it was so wild, like being up there and you're like, I'm at EDC, this is insane. Like,
that is so cool.
Yeah, and like I'm on this like art van thing, and
honestly,
it's like shaking.
I've had some of my favorite moments of festivals at those smaller stages. Yay. Like, there's such like unique energy there, I feel like, because it's not like the massive main stage, so you can find really, like, I always feel like the artists playing there are really cool and it's more intimate and like it's a whole experience. So like, just because it wasn't the main stage, you freaking played EDC. Right. That's insane. Yeah. What was it like when you found out you were playing EDC? Were you like, oh my God?
Yeah, just like crazy. It feels like a dream for sure. Like, yeah.
Oh my
especially after all these years, I'm like, what? Okay.
That's sick. What about Coachella?
That was so fun. I think I drove there the day of, and I was so nervous about like not getting in on time and like, the whole thing,
the
right?
Traffic. Like, were you driving from LA? The traffic going to Coachella is a nightmare.
Yeah, it was wild, but yeah, so amazing. Like, it's just so fun to be in like the energy, and those kind of shows are really inspiring. Like for me in the studio, it's like I hold those memories close, and I'm like, all right, like I'm just doing my hermit thing. I'm in monk mode. I'm like working away at all this music and learning all these different things, and it's worth it because remember that there's more of that coming.
Yeah, for sure. That is like so fun. How was your show in New Orleans?
Oh, so fun.
It looked so fun. Yeah. I saw your Instagram reel. Yeah. So I've never been to New Orleans. I hear they can party there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely they can. They're basically professionals.
In your reel, you were like, I'm still recovering. So in the past like 20 years of your DJing, have you picked up on any recovery hacks that you can share with us? Because I sometimes struggle after.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, no sleep.
Yes. Sleep is a big one. I don't know. Like, I honestly think it's wild that that DJs and artists can kind of go crazy and drink a lot or do drugs. I'm like, how do you have the time? Like, for me, the recovery is mostly based on my preparation. It's like, I'm just I'm pretty fucking healthy. And I just lots of water. Like I don't.
You don't, do you drink when you DJ?
I used to more, I think, but not a lot. But just enough to get me in the vibe.
I like to do 2 shots before a set, get me a little
yeah, hell yeah,
confident, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you never want to be the drunk DJ.
Oh God, no.
So bad. Yeah.
Don't learn that lesson the hard way. learn it earlier.
Yeah, no. I always make sure I'm, on top of it.
Yeah.
Even though there's definitely been some times where maybe one instance where okay, I might have drank a little bit too much. He knows he was there. But I still fucking killed it. Yeah. My drunk mixing, I think I played an Avril Lavigne song twice though. I was oh shit. The same Avril Lavigne song. It's I was really excited. I just found this sick new remix.
That was so good. Let's do it again. Right now.
I've learned my lesson. Okay, never again.
No, but it's hard to avoid. Particularly when I play in Mexico, I find that taking a shot with someone is it's a customary thing. It's almost rude not to. And it was just cool, but it's all right, here's the promoter, they want to take a shot with you. And I'm okay, for sure. Of course, you know what I mean? And I'm yeah, salud, down the hatch, whatever, tequila. I'm tequila's kind of my secret weapon. We're kind of we're homies, but
yeah.
But then it's and then the manager, they want to take a shot with you. And I'm okay, boom. Then it's and then the club owner's here. And I'm okay, guys, I do kind of have a job to do. I'm assuming you hired me for more than just to take shots.
Drink with me.
Yeah, but I feel you though. I sometimes I think even if I have a lot of tequila, but I'm DJing, if anything, I'll just my music will get just slightly more aggressive. I'm okay, let's fucking go. And then I'm all right, let me just okay. Are they feeling this actually though?
Right. If you drink, okay, you might be feeling it. We got to do the reflection. Make sure we're on the same page as everybody else. But no, you have to do the hack where you take your water bottle and take the shot and then do your chaser and spit it in the water bottle.
Okay, how have I been DJing for 23 years and I didn't know that? I just learned the best hack ever.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. You could have 2 waters going. So one's legit and one's your spit bucket.
It works if it's clear tequila or vodka, or you can obviously have a drink that's not clear, and that will work with anything. So I've used that one a lot.
Mind blown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
You're never too old to learn.
Right? So the club owners, everyone wants to take a shot with you. What about when you're DJing? Do guys come up to you and stuff? My experience, they don't.
Isn't that nice?
It's great. It's so great. It's so great, honestly. I don't know if they're intimidated because we're DJing or something, but have you had the same experience or?
It's interesting. I find there's a very big difference between walking into a club just as a woman, as a patron, and walking into a club with security around you, and they're I'll be wearing the headphones. This is again probably back in the day, maybe not so much as now, but I'm wearing headphones. I'm here for a purpose. So please don't hit on me or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's a big difference.
I was shocked because I thought I don't know, when I started playing club, I was I noticed, oh my gosh, I don't get bothered by anyone. Yeah. Sometimes there's the junkies that come up or whatever, but more girls than guys. They think the girls love a girl DJ. They love it. I've never had more girls be super nice to me before in my life. Yeah. Girls have always been rude to me in high school and growing up and stuff. I'm start DJing. All the girls want to be my friend. I'm oh, cool.
Yeah. it's the way in. They're like, yes, girl, play my song.
Right? They love like the female girl power. But yeah, no, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like not getting hit on compared to when you're just like sitting at the club.
Yes, it's nice.
Yeah, I think female DJs that have like a little bit of like our headphones are on, like don't fucking talk to me, like that like badass swag.
Hell yeah.
You know? The new track, On My Way.
Yes. Yes.
Rumpus and Control Room. She just dropped a track with. Love it. It's really great. I'm definitely going to be playing it.
Aw, thanks.
So I enjoyed that. How was that process?
Awesome. Yeah. It's good. I've been doing a bunch of collabs. Like I kind of stopped doing collabs for a minute. Like I was just really focused on my own solo productions because I was like, hey, I only have so much studio time. I really want to focus on my own stuff. And then like I knocked out a bunch of tracks for myself, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hop on some collabs again. So it feels really
so
good.
fun.
Yeah, they really
I love
are.
being in the studio with other people, bouncing ideas with other producers and stuff.
Yeah.
But so your solo stuff, you have a ton of music out, which all of it is great. What's coming next with your music? Are we sticking with the style? Have you been experimenting? What's the vibes here?
Yeah, it's interesting because like, I mean, as a DJ, like I feel like technically I can play anything. And like that's what I learned how to do. Like went from like the underground scene, more like breaks, electro, house, and like bass house before it was called bass house kind of thing. But then doing like Playboy and like getting all these more mainstream gigs, I had to learn how to play like full on open format, like hip hop that I could tell on like everything.
I have to play all hip hop tomorrow. I'm like,
it can be
I need to go work on that set.
Yes, it can be a thing to prepare when you're like, fuck, my crates are like dusty. You gotta.
I do not. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't like DJing hip hop. It's not my thing.
That's fair. I mean, and then, that was kind of I love everything, but like, it was like, I was really motivated I'm like, okay, but what if I just want to really DJ the stuff that I love? So I'm like, well, then I got to produce it. And so that was like my big inspo for just like diving into music production and being like, okay, like I got to figure this out. And like, I mean, technically you could say like bass house. I mean, my sets, like I just did like a guest mix for Dim Mak Studios, like the record
sick.
label, and like played a night bass event this summer. And I was like, this is fucking sick, And so I really got to play like, wow, I was like, oh my God, I get to play what I want. And like the crowd will like it too. Like that's kind of rare.
That's the best. Yeah. Especially if you're playing like mainstream like clubs and stuff, like you don't always get that freedom. You obviously can't play what we're going to play at the underground. Like that's not going to work in LA.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's nice when you get to just dive in and do your own thing and fully like go into your vibe and own it. Yes.
It's so fun. And like, I've just been, just loving like I love bass music. I love house music. So it's kind of like a mix, and like, maybe I'll like drop a bunch of bass house, and then I'll like start raising the BPM and maybe a bit of speed house, like maybe the like 140 surprises, half time it, then keep going up and like lead to like drum and bass and shit. And then, but so in a way, it's kind of like, it's like open format bass and house in a way. Like,
it's kind of like an open format, but house. Yeah. That's a really cool way to put it. I like that. Yeah. That's fun. Favorite. So so basically that's what you've been producing too then. So like,
that's the goal. Like, I feel like I've definitely been mostly producing bass house. I'm like, I haven't attempted like a speed house or super garagey track or drum and bass track. You know what I mean? But hoping to get
you
there.
Will. Yeah. You totally will. You just gotta like, I don't know, throw a bunch of shit down and then like see what sticks.
Yes, so true.
So what did you start producing on? What DAW?
Oh, Ableton.
Same. So do you know when what have you decided what's coming out next, or is that like a surprise?
Well,
so you just dropped this one.
Yes, and I just dropped this other one called In My House,
Oh, okay.
And with Florals. That's another collab that came out last week. And what else? Oh yeah, so I just signed another collab to Dim Mak's what's it, like their sub-label, like their imprint called New Noise.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm stoked about that. Yeah. And this one is like definitely like in more of the lane that I'm headed is like Duckworth Sound and Dread MC based out of the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's very like UK vibey, like,
Let's get those UK shows in.
Yes. And Dread MC and I go back to back like a duet. So we're like rapping back and forth.
No way.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That's right, because you're not just producing, you're also vocally appearing on the tracks.
Yeah.
What's your writing process? What inspires your writing?
The music, honestly,
Oh,
straight
really?
up. Like, yeah, that's why I do honestly love collabing. Like, as much as I'm like, hey, my goal is to like solo produce, like all this stuff. But man, I love getting a track in, you know, the inbox and just being like, oh, this goes so hard. And then just being inspired and then just like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's so sick.
Yeah.
No, your rapping is really good. And to be able to like hop on the microphone and just literally like as a DJ also be performing the vocals, it's really cool.
Yeah. People love it.
Yeah, they probably get really involved and like into it.
Yeah.
Upcoming shows?
What do I have? God, I don't even know. I feel like I'd have mostly things in the works. Okay, to be transparent, I had so many shows this summer. Like, okay, as a DJ, it doesn't look like a lot. But as like an artist, like I was like, this is a lot of shows to prepare for because I'm like making music and custom edits and like all this stuff. And I was kind of like, I kind of want a little break because I just want to work in the studio. Like,
I mean, you have to.
It's crazy. Like I used to be obsessed with DJing. I was like, when's the next gig? Fill my schedule. Like, let's go. And now I'm like, I really want to be at home in my
studio. That's where I'm at right now too.
Right?
That's where I'm at as well. It's like, yeah, I love playing, but it's like, okay, I need to be putting in the time in the studio, and because that's how we're gonna elevate the shows, you know. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's awesome. Studio time.
Yes.
We love it. What else? Anything else that you want to share with everyone?
Just to like stay in touch. There's so much coming. I've definitely been producing, writing, recording like mad. So it's pretty exciting. Like even actually there was this guy in 1997 sent me some stuff. Like I think I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I heard you like dropping some 140 stuff. Like, do you want like maybe a female MC or rapper on that? And he's like, oh, I didn't know you did that. And I was like, okay, here's the thing. You got to like just reach out to these guys and be like, yo, because like they're just assuming you do what they've heard. And it's like, no, like I'll go in. So he like sent me some 140 shit. And I wrote like 2 different songs, like
that's
full
sick.
on versus bars, like going in. And I was like, oh, like I love writing. And originally I just used to love writing. And it was a friend of mine, the rapper used to go by Bang. Lucy goes by Bang, whatever. He's DJs now too, Bang Jackson. But he was like, what are you going to do with all these lyrics? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, why don't you record them? And I'm like, what? Like, you know, like, okay, you know. And now I'm like so into it. I'm like,
so that's how it started.
Yeah.
So you were DJing before you were doing vocals.
Yeah.
So the vocals came later.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad he was like pushed you to do it. Yeah. That's so sick. Shout out to Bang.
Hey.
Give your social media and where everyone can follow you and keep up with your exciting, amazing life.
Yeah, please do. So basically if you can spell my name, you can find me. Like that's the biggest
Literally,
thing.
yeah.
So
there's no, like, she's one and only.
Yeah. Yep. So it's Rhiannon Roze, RHIANNON, and then Rose with a Z or a Z if you're in Canada, ROZE, ROZE.
Wait, what's that mean?
Dude, seriously. In Canada, they say Z. And in America, we say Z. I said we. Oh, see, there you go. I'm fully assimilated.
I've never heard that in my life.
Dude, and it's trippy because it's part of my like artist last name and my legal last name. So I'm always like, when I'm spelling my name, I'm like R-O, and then I'm like, what country am I in? Okay. And then I have to, I say Z or Z.
There's a letter in Canada that we don't have here. Well, is it French?
Well, no, it's the same. It's like Z, right? But they call it Z. So
Zed, like the DJ.
Yeah, totally, exactly. Straight up. For like Zed, what's Zed? That's a DJ, no? It's
But yeah, cool.
Yay.
You got it. Thank you so much for coming. You're so amazing.
You too, girl.
All right, guys, be sure you follow the podcast, hit that subscribe button, follow Get Off the Mic on all of the socials. We'll see you guys next week with another episode.